Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today, shocker, shocker, here in Connecticut, it's been snowing pretty much every day since February started, and today's no different. So I am going to continue my trend and pull another species up from the basement where everything has been remaining dormant, well, at least my deciduous trees. So today, I am going to be pruning up the Lantana vine bonsai. Last year, it got a really nice thickness to the trunk. I have it in a deeper pot than a standard bonsai, and I think I'm going to continue with that theme for another year. But today, we're going to defoliate it, take a look at the branch structure, and see what we got. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, y'all. So if you watched yesterday's video on the coastal redwood pruning, you probably were like, what the hell was Jared doing when he set the camera up? Because I literally had like my beard and the top parts of the trees. You couldn't even see the pop. I have no excuse. But today I really focused on getting you a nice angle on here. I'm even zooming it in. So what I want to do first is just, I was hoping, I don't know if I'll be able to do this for everything. I was hoping to be able to just do this kind of number and get these leaves to fall off, but looks like I'm going to defoliate. So this part of the video I'm going to put into hyperspeed, get these leaves off, and then we'll get into pruning. Actually, you know what? This looks like relatively new growth, so I think I'll just start with raising the canopy up like I had planned on doing, showing this trunk off, and then he's got a nice little smell to him, almost like citrusy. And then we'll take a little look. So no hyperspeed. Yeah, I went back and watched the footage from the redwoods, and it's just such a popular species, and I only pruned it, once last year and then probably twice this year, that I still posted the video, but I was like, oh my gosh, Laura, what was I doing? Where I set up against the white wall with the black mat, how I had it, there's not that much room between the sliding glass door and where I have the tripod, so lack of focus on my part. Anyways, it's still pretty cool at the end to see all the buds on those redwoods. So if you missed that video, you can go back and check that one out. And also, if you want to check out the Lantana playlist, there should be a few good videos on it. These things kick off awesome flowers. They're like bright yellow / light orange, and they grow really well, as you could see, like tons of branching, very muscular growth, and they flower pretty much all spring and summer, which is cool. So there's a bunch of branches coming out below where I want the trunk line to start. So I'm just raising the canopy a little bit, clipping it all the way back to the trunk line. And then with the branches I do want to keep, I'll probably back it up to 1 or 2 sets of leaves. Looks like this branch might be dead. Yeah. This is cool. It got a lot thicker last year. And I'm really psyched. Some people don't like this. I don't know if you can see that. But you see like the Keebler elf looking hole there in the trunk, that little knot? That's probably from a previous pruning. I think it's really attractive. I like that on trees. Some people think it's like unsightly and they can't wait for it to scar over, or they make it like the back of the tree, but that would definitely be my front as I'm looking at it right now. So this thing has some serious surface roots going on already. Since it's such a deep pot, I was thinking, I had a lot of progress with the thickening of the trunk last year by putting it in the steeper pot. I'll probably just leave it in again this year, and then you know, early spring 2022, do a repotting and probably more of a proper bonsai pot. So I think I'm going to stick with that plan. I think that, you know, this pot's deep enough where I won't get into too much trouble with the roots. Yeah, so I have the tag here. So this is a Lantana Camera Bandana Gold. So I had these, I was living down in South Carolina, like right when I got out of the Marine Corps. And I had these growing up my vine fence, these and honeysuckle. And I just fell in love with them. They, you know, I had like a green mesh wire fence, just braced in with wood, and then a couple different spots where the vines just grew up and went crazy along the fence and climbed along the garden beds in front. That's really how I got my start into, I wouldn't say bonsai, but my love of growing things. Being down there, finally having time, not in the Marine Corps, to you know, grow things and see how, when they grew, what looked good together. And then, of course, it was Valentine's Day 3 years ago that Laura got me the Planter's Choice Bonsai Starter Kit, and boom, away we went with the obsession, which is why I have probably at least 100 playlists and even more different species of trees. There's so many trees I have, if you haven't started yet, like my pines, spruces, hemlock. I haven't even gotten the opportunity to do anything with them other than grow them, because from seed they just take forever, which is cool. You know, you got your speedy trees and you got your slow trees. Like yesterday's redwoods, one of them was already an inch thick, and I was very surprised at how quickly they've grown, you know, after just a couple of years. I don't know what you're into, but I highly recommend, if you're kind of new to the game and you've caught a lot of Yamadori and nursery stock bonsai videos, I really encourage you to start some from seed, because the experience is totally different, and then you have 100% control from the beginning. It's my personal preference, so I mean, to each their own, but I think if you're going to be in this art, that you should try a little bit of everything at least. Alright, so I have some branches coming out and they're growing like straight down, which would block my trunk line, so I'm just nipping those out entirely. This thing's really starting to look cool. Oh man, it smells so good. So this was down in the basement, and you know, no grow lights or anything like that, just a couple of small basement lights leading outside. And it's probably been anywhere between high 30s to low 50s for the past few months there. And I'm surprised, you know, because like I said, I had these in South Carolina. I'm surprised this didn't go completely dormant and kick all its leaves off. It's almost like it had a resurgence. There's some tight up here in the middle. And, you know, like a honeysuckle or other vines that you see grown as bonsai, these will grow like crazy. They'll fill in, they'll look like bushes in no time, a few times a year. I think I pruned this. This would be my third time pruning in about a year, year and a half. So this, ironically enough, I just talked about growing things from seed. This is from a nursery stock rescue. It was a tiny little puny plant. Nobody wanted it. It was like a free giveaway, and so I took it. Looks like in some spots you get dieback from a pruning, so Might want to err on the side of caution if it's your first pruning on a little baby tree without a strong root base, or like in a slow growing season like now. Can't tell if I like this branch or if I hate this branch. I'm thinking maybe I'll leave this guy here since it is growing upward, and that's kind of where I want it to trend. Take that part out. There wasn't that much on that branch anyways until the end, so if I had to nip it at all, it probably wouldn't have worked. So just take the whole thing out. I have a feeling that I'm going to be doing a lot of videos this month and into March because I have a ton of trees to prune up and bring out of dormancy, and then a ton to repot, and that's not even counting the evergreens and hardier trees that I have winterizing outside already. So as much room as I have up here in the main house, which isn't a ton, I'm going to bring one species up a day and get them shaped up for this spring repotting. Wow, really a lot of branches on this bad boy. Got another one down here. Get that out of here. So it looks like I've got like a main structure where it comes up, splits into two trunks. One kind of goes off to the side here. We've got a couple of branches coming off of that. And then this other one splits, and they go up a little bit more vertical, but they split out to the side too. And I like that trifecta look to start it out. We'll see what we could develop from there. I'd like to see this thing one of those really cool rounded bonsais, just absolutely covered in flowers, but you know, a free view of the trunk. It looks like I have some buds that were developing, getting ready to shoot out, so I think this was a really good time to bring it up. This one just goes kind of straight up, and it's out far away, so I don't like it. So come back on this guy. All right. Some of the ones in the tighter spots I'm just pulling out. I'm staying with the theme. If it's coming growing from underneath here, I don't want it. I'm just going to nip the tip on this one. And there's one that's growing up into another one, so I'll take the upper one since it's a little bit more vertical. Yeah. I'd like to see this branch thicken up to about the size of these and catch up, so it all kind of looks coordinated. So I've left 1, 2, 3 sets of leaves on it. But the other ones, pretty much, it's one set of leaves and then a new tip, or just one set of leaves. All right, one more growing down. All right, I'm going to show you guys this bad boy now. All right, so here she is. I kind of like these roots. Oh yeah, that would totally be my front. I think it works because you got one branch coming towards you, one going away, one going off to the side. I got my little Keebler elf house right there. That looks cool. And I like big bulbous roots. I know I see people like hack at their roots all the time and talk about developing a root base, and that's cool. But I also like the gnarliness of it, especially since this is a vine. So, you know, maybe I'll do some corrective action with some of them come a year and a couple months from now. But for right now, oh yeah, gnarls. I dig it. See, no cross branching left. So boom, that's gonna be today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai, y'all. Hey, it's an exciting season. Finally getting to take the trees out of dormancy. I really love to do that. I love the first prune of the season, gearing up for spring. So hopefully you're excited about it too. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and do so because there's plenty more to come from the ranch. I'm Jared Paul. Hope you all have a great day. Cheers.